YouTube, and away we go. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's time to play some Baldur's Gate 3, and today we're picking a character, which might take more time than you might think, as it's not the quickest job, but I've got a few ideas for different characters in mind as well. So hopefully we're going to find something that's fun today. Anyway, I hope you guys are all good. I am back from my holidays now, so it's going to be back to some fairly more regular streaming than we had before. We've got sound coming through. We're good. We're live. Right, let me know if the camera's in the way of anything on the screen. So, let's jump in. New game. I haven't played this since Chapter 1 of Early Access, and that, believe it or not, was 3 years ago. And I hear a lot of things have changed. Not just in the game, but also in character creation. We won't go for Tactician for the first playthrough. We'll go for a normal playthrough. I can see me playing through this more than once. I really can. I can see me playing through this a couple of times because there's so many options of things to do. Hey Bob, how's it going? How rude, dropping the fourth bit of Hearts of Iron 4 China then streaming Baldur's Gate 3. I know, I have no manners whatsoever. I thought that was very quiet. So we'll get the intro today and pick a character, and we'll start the adventure tomorrow at 2 PM. That's when we're going live with it. Hey Dave, how's it going? Nice to see you back. Those are very impractical fingernails. They must catch on everything. Cost a fortune in toilet paper. Oh god, I remember this bit. I might have to look away for this. Those are some ugly dudes. And this is... I might just watch this like as a reflection in the other... I don't like this sort of stuff. I don't like things going in eyes and wiggling around. There's no need for that sort of thing in a modern civilized society. I guess this is my turn, right? I'll just take it up the nose, or orally, or any other orifice of your choice, rather than the eye. Thank you very much. Okay, let me know if the volume's okay. Pardon? Who am I? Who am I? You dare ask? This is a very good question. So, there's some nice new things I've noticed in the character generation of this, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I've got some ideas for some classes that I want to play in this, and I'm having a real tough time picking them. We're not going to pick one of the origin classes, although these characters all look amazing. We're going to meet most, if not all of them, in the game. And some of them will be in the party and we'll get to see their stories. However, something I'm going to make myself. What do I pick? I mean, what do you guys pick when you play these games? Do you try and create yourself in the game, in the class that you see most closely relates to you? Or do you pick something that you think is going to be really interesting to play? Or do you pick something that you know isn't you at all because this is fantasy and make-believe and you should embrace that and not go for something that you see yourself trying to aspire to be in real life? I'm a mix of all of these things. It depends what I fancy. So my first idea, the first thing that stood out to me, let's change this over to a human. And oh, actually Barbarian is one. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the possibility of a Paladin. Let's just change the body type over to a big beefy dude. When we pick the final class that we're going to play, and you guys are going to help me choose this as we discuss this. Hey, Schnickstock, by the way. Then we are going to go through the appearances. We're going to edit all that and create something different. But the first class that always jumps out to me, and this has done since the days of Eye of the Beholder when I was first introduced to Dungeons & Dragons, is the Paladin. A proper, tanky, well-armoured melee fighter with skills, but also a little bit of magic and a little bit of healing chucked in there. It's like a really nice all-round sort of character. Lots of things to do. Very dangerous. Lots of high damage. Good protection. Lots of utility. However, there are some restrictions. in this, because there's some really nice new additions in 5th edition, additions, I should say, to 5th edition, and that's the subclass to these. So we've got 3 in this one. We've got Oath of the Ancients, which is, the description is, you fight on the side of light in the cosmic struggle against darkness to preserve the sanctity of life and the beauty of nature. Now, that had me until it said the beauty of nature, then that kind of takes a twist, because the Paladin is the typical light in the darkness that defends the realms of men against the evil wave that comes from the undead. They are typically anti-undead fighters, aren't they? Then it added this beauty of nature thing in, which I don't have a problem with, but it sort of skews the impression I got of that class. So, I don't know. Anyway, actions. They get the Healing Radiance. Heal yourself and nearby allies for 5 hit points. This is their subclass ability. And this is the thing that restricts you a bit with Paladins. Their Oath. You have to stay true to the Oath. And you'll see why I might have difficulty with that in a moment. But not with this one. So, let's have a look. So, kindle light. Through acts of kindness, enkindle the light of hope in the bleakest hollows of despair. I like that. That sounds very Paladin-y. Holy warrior-ish. Shelter the light. Where love blooms, stand against the devilry that would snip its stem. I get that. Again, it's putting a nature twist on this. This is something new to me. I haven't come across this in 5th edition. I don't think I've played a Paladin in 5th edition before. And preserve your own light. Delight in culture and small joys to preserve the light in your own heart. Basically, it's saying go and have a good time, go and get pissed, do what you want, and just be joyful and happy. So I don't know. I think, but the times in the game when we'll be given choices of things to do, and we have to kind of abide by the Oath, because there is a 4th hidden. I found out about this. There's a 4th hidden subclass called the Oathbreaker, and when you don't do things that you've taken an oath to do, you get, if you do too many of these bad things, you get put into the Oathbreaker subclass, and that is basically like turning to the dark side of the Force. I think. Bob, you think it makes it more Druid-like? It does sound a bit like that, doesn't it? Like an ancient protector of the forest or something like that. So anyway, it wasn't that one that instantly jumped out to me. It was this one, the Oath of Devotion. Partly because I love the colour scheme. I know that's got nothing to do with it, but I just love the colour scheme. Anyway, the Oath of Devotion. Following the ideal of the knight in shining armour, you act with honour and virtue to protect the weak and pursue the greater good. I love the idea of that. Absolutely love it. And actions, let's have a look. Grant an ally a vengeful aura that deals 1 to 4 radiant damage to anyone who hits them with a melee attack. That sounds great. Paladin auras are generally fantastic in 5th edition, from what I've seen, from Solasta and, well, this. So that looks good. And subclass. Now this is the thing I might have a bit of problem with. The Oath of Devotion tenets. Courage. Stride dauntlessly into action. Love that. Playing a melee fighter. A dangerous one. Fully armoured. Tanked up. Love it. That bit's good. Compassion. Show clemency when prudent and lend your arm to those in need. Okay. Yeah. Most of the time, the game will no doubt throw some situations that aren't either black or white. They are slightly grey. And we'll have to... we'll have to go with what the good guy would do in those situations, even though it might not seem right in the long run. We will have to see. Duty. Tend to your responsibilities. Obey just laws and support those entrusted to your care. Now then, when I play games like this, I absolutely have to get into everything and steal everything shiny that isn't mine. I have to break into people's houses. I have to go through their underwear drawers to see what they've got hidden in there. I have to open the chest. I have to pick the locks. I have to steal the books from the library. I have to do all that because I can't not. I love it. I absolutely love it. Will this get in the way of me doing that? That's the question. That's the question. See, I think this will only come up in conversation. And you know where you've got an option in a quest to help the peasant whose cart is stuck in the bog with goblins threatening to attack, or leave him to his fate and run off with his goods. Obviously, if we've given choices like that playing this character, we have to go with the good guy choice. We have to. We have no option. But will it stop me walking through cities and towns and just maybe walking to somebody's house and taking all their stuff? There'll be no discussions. There'll be no conversations. We will just do it. Or will I have to look the other way and send the rogue in the party in to do it? That's the question. You like dark fantasy role-playing? How dark do you like your dark fantasy? 65 hours in, I haven't pickpocketed anyone yet. Really? Ooh, okay. Nice tan. Thanks. It was good weather in Gran Canaria. It was really nice. Very strange weather back here. It's like today it is colder in the house than it is outside, and I've had the doors open all day to try and warm the house up, and it's not working. It's a strange day today. Yeah, I can't pass a locked chest. I can't. I can't leave things like that alone. Now, in the Divinity Original Sin games, a lot of chests you could actually pick up and carry with you. And in Solasta, in D&D 5th edition there's usually some spells, like as a knock spell, that someone in the party can get and they can open it. That's fine. If we have a rogue in the party who can open locks, that's fine. But is that going to count against me? I don't know. You guys might, so let me know in the chat. Hey, Monkey Lord. Responsible to acquire that what people have, obey the law of finders keepers, feed all the orphans and acquire goods. Yeah, and I'll tell you what else, something I liked about this idea. So we're going, this is the one that is really drawing me. However, I know there'll be moments in the game where I struggle to obey the laws of the subclass without thinking, I want that, I want to take it. Oh, if we just kill him and there's this, he's not important. There will be moments and there'll be agonizing choices to be made. So I like that. But also in the background, they've got this cool one in here called the Folk Hero. You're a champion of the common people, challenging tyrants and monsters to protect the helpless. Saving innocents in imminent danger will make your legend grow. See, that's good. And I like that, not only for this character, but for another one we're going to look at. In fact, for two others, it would fit, for ones we're going to look at in a moment. Maybe it would fit them better than this one. I don't know. It's a tough choice. One thing I will say about character creation in this, though, while you guys are deciding whether a good, just Paladin is for me, is that I quite like the fact that your abilities are now no longer tied to the race. They are if you play tabletop edition of D&D, and they are in Solasta, but they're not in this. You know, things like elves get +2 to dexterity, and gnomes get +1 to intelligence, and dwarves get plus whatever. I like the fact that that isn't an issue here, because it means you can pick whatever race you want to play whatever class you want. And there's still going to be some that match up better than others. But it's no longer a case of, oh, right, okay, I want to pick like a ranged archer. Right, that means I have to play an elf for the dexterity. No. This is a lot more open and allows a lot more interesting choices. So I do like that. The only trouble is, it gives you a lot more interesting choices. So it's even harder to pick a character to start with. What I will say about character classes, the human one is interesting. They get to carry more. They're the beasts of burden now of the D&D world. I'm not quite sure why that should be. We go back to the races. Where is it? Well, there's racial speed. There's movement rate for the different races. This is important. And this is something I wish they'd maybe changed. Because I think that your movement rate is so important for a melee class in a game like this. Just needing that one extra square that you can move to get in range to land a hit is so important. And yet, for a class like the Dwarf, which is a fantastic, well, traditionally it's a fantastic class for melee, isn't it? You think of your Dwarven Warriors, your Paladins, your Clerics. They're the ones you tend to see all the time because of their Constitution bonus, and they get a Strength bonus. I don't know. But they're pretty handy with battle axes and hammers and stuff like that. Being battle axes also makes a good Cleric. I don't think Clerics normally get battle axes. So anyway, however, movement rate, 7.5 meters a turn. I can't bring myself, whatever class I'm going to play, I can't bring myself to play a melee class that doesn't have full movement rate, which is a shame. I wish they'd maybe done that, because they've gone through the route of balancing all the stats, and it's not important now. I wish they'd just changed that a little bit. A little bit. Your characters are always chaotic and neutral, seems to be my default. That sounds pretty good, actually. I've tried playing a true neutral character. Do you remember in the days of, God, what would it be, 3rd edition, 2nd edition? If you chose to play a druid, did they have to be true neutral? They were about the only example of a class that actually could be true neutral, because it's very hard to get that balance between selfish and selfless, lawful and lawless, and good and evil. So that was something. Anyway, I don't think alignment is an issue in these, is it? So anyway, that's just something about the movement rates that I've noticed. But the human-based features. You select an additional skill to be proficient in, which is nice, because humans used to get +1 to all stats. That was their thing. The downside being they don't have any dark vision. Now that might be an issue in this. I don't know how big a penalty that will be. I know what it's like playing Solasta, but I also know in there's plenty of ways of getting around it. I don't fancy having to play the entire game holding a torch in one hand, but we shall see. A grey Jedi? That sounds like me. Do Paladins use wisdom for spells in this one? I think they use charisma in this one. I think charisma's their spell casting stat. Anyone can open locks? Do rogues not have more ability at it though? Or better ability? Like proficiency in thieves' tools? As long as we can get into locks, that's fine. As long as we can steal stuff out of people's houses, royal bedchambers and things like that, that's fine. So anyway, the human versatility. This is the one that sort of... I was kind of interested in this, because it sounded great at first. So civil militia, humans get this, and I think the half-elves get this as well. Where's the half-elf gone? Yeah, they get the civil militia as well. So this is a curious one. You've got weapon proficiency with spears, pikes, halberds, and glaives. Armor proficiency in light armor and shield, which is nice. It's basically like you've served in the city watch or whatever. Had some basic militia training. But I'm thinking about it. If you wanted a class that was going to use a spear, pike, halberd, or glaive, right? Because those are, apart from the spear possibly, the rest are all big, two-handed melee weapons. You would pick a melee character like a fighter or a paladin, which would be proficient in those weapons anyway, wouldn't they? I'm sure they will. I'm sure they are. You'd suddenly think, oh, great, I can create a wizard, a human wizard, and I'll be proficient in pikes and halberds. Yeah, but you're not going to have the stats to hit anything with it, and you wouldn't want one equipped. So I can't see how that's useful most of the time. I'm sure you guys have thought of a use for it, though. I think the torch is bad for that. Wait till you see Fireball in this. Have they changed it since I played the early access? Carrying a torch might just let you set the whole world on fire. I think I had a classic moment in the early access of this where I shot a flaming arrow through a window in an underground section. Just wanted to tag someone and not realizing he was stood in a pool of oil and the entire storeroom was made of barrels of exploding oil, and it was quite a sight. So yeah, I remember those days in Divinity setting things on fire. I dare say a lot of it's in this too. So I'm not sure how good the civil militia thing is. I really don't know. But dark vision, possibly an issue. So that's the paladin I was thinking of. Let's change over to half orc. There you get some interesting stuff. This was nice. When you land a critical hit with a weapon attack, your damage dice are tripled instead of doubled. That is so nice. That would work for any melee character. You'll see the one I have in mind in a moment, which will work even better for. Relentless endurance. Yes, I remember that one from Solasta. So when you get to 0 hit points, you gain... Well, you come back with 1 hit point base instead of being downed, which is nice. Dark vision, super cool. Movement rate is pretty standard. Good thing about polearms is the extended attack radius, useful for opportunity... opportunity attacks, okay. But don't your melee... Like your fighters and your paladins, aren't they proficient with those anyway? Or is it a special thing? A very special thing. So don't they count as martial weapons? So, anyway, the orc. Actually, I've just had another idea which would play really well with this. So you've got the savage attacks. So you've got triple damage on a crit. If you were to play an orc fighter... Let me find the class. And if we were to pick a fighting style... Oh, no, it's not a fighting style. I beg your pardon. It's level 2 or 3. You get to pick the subclass. And there's one, I think it's champion, which is that one that increases the chance of getting... Well, not the chance, but increases the range of rolls that will inflict a critical hit. So basically, you've got the the half orc doing triple damage on a crit, and you will then crit on a 19 and 20 instead of just a plain 20. So you double the chance of doing a crit and triple the damage when you do. So that's a nice combination. But the one I was thinking of, if I was going to play a half orc, and I might, because this is also sounding a whole lot of fun, is the Barbarian. And that would also actually go in with the folk hero background too. That's a possibility for that. Although I feel like I'm missing out on some possible other bonuses from the other backgrounds. But that would be a fun one, I think. Yeah, so the fighters would be proficient with the pole arms and stuff. I remember playing Eye of the Beholder on the Amiga in the 90s at some point. And by the end of the game, my fighters eventually got hold of halberds. And the only thing that was amazing about halberds is they did a D12 damage instead of the D8 of longswords and stuff. And it's like, wow, loads of damage. And it didn't really feel like loads of damage. It was kind of late in the game by that point. So we're looking at a possible half-orc barbarian. We've got rage. There's an interesting subclass option for these things as well. So while raging, you're stronger and you deal 2 extra damage with melee and improvised weapons, throwing objects. 10 turns. It ends if you don't attack or take damage in a turn. You can't cast or concentrate spells. I don't think that's a problem for most barbarians. So that looks pretty good. Now that requires, because they don't have the heavy armor, so it requires a mix of strength, dexterity, and constitution, I would say. Dexterity for the extra armor class bonus. Constitution for hit points, obviously. That could be a lot of fun. Hey Mills, you're 7 hours in? I'm glad you're starting to. Yeah, I'm starting this properly tomorrow. Today we're talking about classes, because there's so many good options. But as the game is likely to be 100 plus hours in a playthrough, it's a long way to go. Now, you can respec your class, I believe. I don't think you can change the class that you are. That would probably be a bit too much to ask. So, with about 5 or 6 awesome classes I can think of playing, we're looking at a lot of hours in the game, aren't we? A lot. Hey, Felix, a friend keeps recommending this game to... Yeah, a lot of classes in this. A whole lot of classes. You watched someone else spend 3 hours making a character. Was that the voice of Todd? I think he took about, was it 2.5, 4.5 hours or something? We're going to do it in less than that. We are. So, the Barbarian sounds awesome, especially when you put it with the folk hero background. You're a champion of the common people, challenging tyrants and monsters to protect the helpless. Saving innocents in innocent danger will make your legend grow. It's a legend. See, that's what I imagine, like, these guys to be like Conan the Barbarian, who aren't just there for, like, the destruction and rampage and blood and death. You could make a barbarian like that. It would fit in quite well with the Dark Urge character. That's for another playthrough, though. But I imagine these guys as wandering around looking for riches and loot and fame and wealth and stuff like that. And the legend in particular. So I like the idea of that. And it does fit in with animal handling and survival. It does fit in. So that would be a thing. And they do get... I'm pretty sure they get dark vision. Did we say? Yeah, they got dark vision. They get some nice stuff there. Movement rate is the same. We would have to work on the looks a little bit, I think. But that's one that's definitely tempting me. So, the next one. The next one I'm thinking of. Let's just switch over to... Let's put this in as a probably half-elf, I would go, for this. And the high elf subrace, or the half elf subrace, doesn't really matter. Oh, wood elf might work. Wood elf would probably work for this. Like their wood elf parent, these half elves have quick and stride and an eye for stealth. Yet many break away from isolation in Faerun's forest to explore the rest of the realms. So, extra movement speed for wood elves. Useful for a lot of things. They need to be a bit more muscular. There we go. For this particular... Wow, that is a beefy dude, actually, for a wood elf. Where's the pointy ears? You need to see the pointy ears. So I was thinking, and this one really is me. Where's he gone? Ranger. Apart from the tight trousers and the leather jerkin, the Ranger is always a character I've loved in D&D. Always. Hey, Aimless. You know I want a halfling druid with a slightly green taint. You had to use the word taint, didn't you? No, Aimless, we've had enough of green druids around here, or rather, goblins masquerading as druids, I should say. Going for something a little bit different this time. This guy just went from Tarzan to Hercules. Hang on, what was he before? Was he a fighter? Was it the Barbarian? Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a change going from that to that, isn't it? Disney's Hercules. I can see it, though. So, where were we? The Ranger. I always like Rangers. As you know, I'm an archer myself and love playing with bows. Rangers get some interesting fighting styles. Rangers used to be the ones to choose if you wanted to do 2-weapon fighting. I don't think that's the case so much anymore. Fighters get good options for that as well. You get a bear. You've got a bear with your green druid. Oh, as a ranger. Okay. Yeah. And you think this guy looks like me? Well, I suppose... Actually, I am half elven myself. You see the pointy ear? I think it's that one. Yep, that one. Pointy ear. That is human. That is elven. Half elven. You can cast light as a cantrip and put it on your armor or shield. As... oh, I suppose yeah, actually, I would have someone in the party. Even if my character didn't have dark vision, someone in the party would have the light spell. It's because I will have a magic user in there for sure. At least one. So that's not good. That's not me. I'm sure there's going to be rings of dark vision and belts of light or whatever we can find as well. So if I do the human paladin thing, that's definitely a possibility. Anyway, the human ranger. Let's have a look at the favoured enemy things. It wasn't quite how I was expecting this screen to play out. I was thinking you'd pick like, there was like, what are the ones that cover like goblins and kobolds? Can't remember. Then there's fiends, dragon slayers, undead slayers and stuff like that. It's a little bit different. So like the bounty hunter, gain proficiency investigation. I have no idea how useful that will be in the game. That remains to be seen. And you've got ensnaring strike. And they have disadvantage on the saving throw. So that sounds really useful. And I like the idea of being a bounty hunter as well. Keeper of the Veil. Specialising in hunting creatures from other planes of existence. You gain proficiency in Arcana. And can cast protection from evil and good. I have never, ever, in my entire history of playing D&D, either on tabletops or in multiple video games, ever found a use and a timely need to cast protection from evil and good. Because slots are too valuable, and that doesn't last long enough or have big enough effect. So that doesn't sound terribly exciting. However, I might find in this game, it's all different. You think I'm half elf? Have I considered half orc? Well, you haven't seen the rest of me. I always stream with trousers on. So maybe I'm part orc, part elf, part human. Maybe my parents were swingers. You never know. It's not green, I'll say that. But in all other respects, it is very orc-like. Investigation is for perception rolls, I think. Ah, okay. Because I think that was that one of the roles in Solasta, or one of the skills in Solasta that was never used in the game, but was included for the just the purpose of it. Intellect-based investigation, wisdom for perception. Oh, perception is based on wisdom. Okay. Curious. I'd love to see it used. Anyway, we'll find out as we go. The Mage Breaker sounds... will cast True Strike. That just makes you more likely to hit with your next attack, I think. If you cast it as a bonus action, I can see that being useful. If it takes a full action to cast, not so much. The Ranger Knight. You have sworn to serve a crown or nation, seek to bring its foes to ruin. Gain skill proficiency in history and armor proficiency with heavy armor. I guess if you wanted to make a melee ranger, which you can. I don't see there's any downside to that, is there? And Beast Tamer. Summon a familiar, a face spirit that takes the animal form of your choosing. Can you summon a pig? Please, if you can summon a pig, I might commit to playing a ranger now. Anyone tried it? Pet pig. Wild boar. That'd be awesome. I'd go with that. Is it a dice roll mechanics game? It is, Felix, when you get into combat and checks for whether you can unlock chests, whether you spot the enemy, whether you save versus a spell. They're all dice rolls on those based on your stats. So, but not in character creation. In the old days of creating a character, and I think you're still doing this in 5th edition, you roll 3d6, and those are your stats. You roll it 6 times. Well, the way we play it, you roll it 6 times, and keep each score separate of 3, and then you assign each of those 6 scores to one of your stats, depending on what you want that stat to be. So, you can summon a pig at rank 3. For many as the small animals, there's a different skill for larger pets like boars and bears. Okay. Well, tempting. Ranger with a pig. And also, oh, hang on. We've got also favoured terrain, I think. So, beast tamer. Or something different, actually. Natural explorer. Urban tracker. Gain proficiency in sleight of hand. Now, you see, that instantly appeals to me because it involves nicking stuff. The wasteland wanderer. You gain, basically on these you gain resistance to things. Ranger's always got favoured terrain and a favoured enemy in the old days. This is how it's interpreted here. We'll have to see how that develops. But also, like the folk hero, that would work with a ranger, wouldn't it? You're a Robin Hood type character, robbing the rich and giving some of that to the poor, minus a healthy chunk to cover expenditures, living costs, income tax, etc. In fact, you'd keep most of it, I think. You'd write most of it off as expenses, and there'd be a very small portion which you would class as a charitable donation to the poor, which is also deductible against income taxes. So, yes, folk hero sounds pretty good. So far, it looks like all the skills have some use when you're solving various puzzles and conversations. Better than Slaster in that. Good. Glad to hear it. UFO is Baldur's Gate 3 based on D&D. It's based on D&D, 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. The nice thing about Beast Tamer Rangers is they get talk with animals. Oh, right. Okay, this is a Larian Studios game. I remember Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. If you couldn't talk to the animals, if you didn't have the skill, there would be so many clues and secrets you would miss out on. You just made me think twice about things aimless. Felix, you've got bad memories with Morrowind, not hitting anything while in combat. I think Morrowind wasn't a dice-based game, was it? That was a case of trying to time your attacks. Morrowind was like, that was such a good game. I loved that so much. Playing it on the Xbox. I played that one on. I absolutely loved it. That's my first Elder Scrolls game. Big open world where people did their own thing. I adore that sort of thing. Talk with animals is well worth it. Damn it, guys. Damn it. Is there a recruitable ranger? I don't think there is from the initial group of companions. Maybe there's someone else you meet later on. Well, because the other thing that I was thinking of with ranger, and this is to do with my desire to open every lock and chest and steal everybody's things, is we pick the urchin background. Skills, sleight of hand, stealth. I mean, stealth is good anyway for a ranger. We could also consider multiclassing with rogue to get the sneak attack, although I don't know whether it's really worth it unless you really put a lot of points into rogue, at which point you're missing out on some of the cool stuff from the ranger class. It's kind of tough. Seducing animals? No, there'll be no seducing animals in this. Oh, by the way, I have turned off the optional additional nudity because YouTube doesn't like that sort of stuff. It really doesn't. In fact, my Witcher 3 playthrough, that's now maybe 3 years, or at least 2 years up on the channel, I'm still getting things from YouTube saying, we've just noticed that there's some adult activity in this episode called Riding the Unicorn in Witcher 3. Yeah, if you know, you know. And we've decided to rate it as adult only. And I've had a few of those recently, even though the videos have been up there for years. So YouTube doesn't appreciate that sort of thing. So, yes, sadly, less nudity. Hey, Alan Brook, how's it going? You can technically get more player-made characters after a few hours of gameplay. Oh, okay. We'll see how that works out. We'll see. You go away 5 minutes and you go, Todd, what is the thing with rangers? And you're like, oh, he's got a ranger, hasn't he? He's gone for a drow ranger. Yeah, but has he gone for the dual-wield type of swordsman type ranger? I don't know. Gives me so many options. That is it. We'd have to do something about that hairstyle, though. That is awful. We really would have to work on that. But the urchin background for nicking stuff, or the folk hero, they both fit really well. Huh. tough choices. We'd work on those. So what have we looked at for? We've looked at... Oh, there's another one. There is another one. Yeah, we've looked at the good guy, knight in shining armor, paladin. We've looked at the barbarian, possibly fighter. We've looked at the half-elven ranger. Half-elven isn't a necessity. It could be an elven ranger just as well. There's another one that's really tempting me. And this, if we go paladin, there's this one. So we're going to go back to human, because I just feel like humans make good paladins. We're going back to classes. There is another one. There's the Oath of Vengeance. And this, apart from looking rather dark, you have set aside your own purity to right wrongs and deliver justice to those who have committed the most grievous sins. I like the idea of this. This is about hitting people really hard. So the Inquisitor's Might, you and allies' weapon attacks deal an additional 2 radiant damage and can daze enemies for a turn. I can see that being so much fun, wielding a great big 2-handed warhammer, smacking people on the head. Subclass features, right? Fight the greater evil, exerting your wisdom, identify the higher morality in any given instance, and fight for it. No mercy for the wicked. Chasten those who dole out their villainy by wiping their blight from the world forever. It is really going after... This is proper fire and brim stuff, holy warrior type of stuff. It's bordering on religious zealot. But it sounds dangerous. And they have no qualms about stealing things. So I like it for that. Alright, catch you later, Aimless. Thanks for the tip-off with the animal thing, by the way. I'm not going to be short of hairstyle choices. Good. We might just go bald, just to save ourselves some time. I'm also trying to think of the other characters that we're going to have in the party. So there is a cleric, I believe, that's recruitable, and a rogue. So if I don't go the opening all the boxes myself route, we have someone else who can come and do it. And we'll need a healer. The cleric's almost certainly in. And then we're talking about magic as well. So I have thought about this because I remember we don't need to be human. We could probably be elf for this, or we could be gnome. Elf or gnome, either would work. We would go it's actually sub-race of this. It would be high elf for this one, and we would be going for a sorcerer. If I go a magic character, it's going to be a sorcerer. It could be an elf, could be a gnome. They would both work. We'll look at the gnome things in a minute. Because I remember when I played Celasta, I had way more fun than I ever expected to playing a sorcerer character. It was the ability in there for them to be able to kind of, what was the word? Mix their spells a bit. Morph them into something else. Dual cast certain things. And it was so much fun. It doesn't say an awful lot in the details here about how these work. It tells me about proficiencies. It doesn't tell me if you can do that. Like build up sorcery points and like cast the same spell on 2 different targets at the same time. Cleric, Rogue, Barbarian, Wizard are the early party members. Remember the Barbarian? She was the one we saw. She was the... Looks like a half-orc, but isn't a half-orc in the intro. It's a strange... I'm not familiar with this race at all. It is the Gith Yankee. I'm not familiar with them. Are they created just for this adventure? I've not come across those in sort of the limited D&D stuff I've done in the past. Ah, wait, there was. So, hang on, there was a fighter, wasn't there, that was Gith Yankee? Was she a fighter? And then there's the Tiefling Barbarian. Yeah, Tieflings are funny characters. I'm not going to play a Tiefling myself. What are their features, though? Decent movement, dark vision. You have resistance to fire damage, taking only half... Well, that's always nice. It is. It's always nice. Ah, she was a fighter. Okay. Yeah, sorcerers. I loved playing that sorcerer so much, blowing stuff up. I'm feeling like a melee character. It's the downside with sorcerers. It's nice chucking fireballs. Downside with any magic character. Spells are fun. But you kind of... You lose that element of excitement of finding that +2 magic sword, or the sword of fiery damnation, or whatever. Some beautiful piece of equipment or armor you can equip. And suddenly makes that character very scary indeed and fun to play. You don't quite get the excitement from finding +3 staff, or the Ring of Fireball, which allows you 1 free Fireball cast a day. It's good. It's all great. Don't get me wrong, but it's the gear isn't as exciting. That's what I'm saying. But I'm spoilt for choice now. So let's have a look at the other classes. Where are we? Class. Is there anything? I was contemplating a Bard, because I did enjoy playing a Bard in Solasta. And they are a good sort of magic support class. I don't know, though. I don't think they are what I'm going to play through in this. Again, the equipment isn't the most exciting. At least it hasn't been in previous games. Who knows? This might be different. Just a suggestion, but take a look at Bards. Let's see what a female Bard outfit looks like. Very, very similar, in fact. Okay. She seems surprised to have a tail. What's a beefy Bard? I don't know. The College of Valor. Can we see that? We can't see that from here, can we? We can't look further into their future. So you can make them into melee. I did read about this, that you can make them into like melee-focused characters. But I can't see how that develops down the road. So a Bard perhaps is not a character for my first playthrough. But something to look at in the future. Certainly. Besides, I did play one not that long ago. And I did enjoy it. Oh, I'll tell you what else looks kind of weird, right? Look at the starting instruments here. So the violin looks good. Where can we choose this? So I like the lyre. I like the flute. And they've got that sounding really nice. And the hand drum is small. Look at the size of the lute. Boing. It looks huge. I'm not sure. Are they supposed to have such long necks as that? I should know because I've got a friend who plays one. But it also looks a bit big and a bit silly sticking out over the top of his head. And so, that's one of the reasons I don't think I'm going to play Bard. Where are we? Let's have a look at our class. Is there anything else that really interested me? So, for the first playthrough, the Sorcerer, 2 Paladins, a Barbarian, a Ranger, and there's always Fighter. I know Fighters are classed as, like, people think of them as just simple melee characters, but they are really, really good at it, and they get lots and lots of attacks. And if you like melee, it's a good character to go with. You say animal summons with animal talking, then force the summons to spend time with us. Call it the keyboard warrior build. You can use the lute as an improvised weapon. That must be a nightmare to retune after you've just hit an ogre over the head with it. So, tough choices. What have I lent towards more? Because I figured, I've been going over this like yesterday mostly, and a bit when I was away on holiday thinking about what I would play. And I thought, I'll load the game up and have a look when I get back. And instantly upon loading the game up, all my preconceived notions just went out the window because I saw that this was a little bit different to how I expected it to work. So I think the ones I was really drawn to... Oh, I keep going back to Barbarian. There is a Barbarian we can take. So I would get the fun from playing that. The 2 Paladin options... The Vengeful Paladin and the Knight in Shining Armor Paladin. Both of those could be good. You get to use armor, heavy armor. You get to use... Well, shields are an option. I was actually going to make a sword and board paladin or fighter because nobody ever does that anymore. Everyone goes straight for the two-handed stuff to get the big two-handed weapons for the extra attack. And I thought, yeah, but all the magic shields that we find and throw away or sell when we play these games, what a waste. I'm thinking, could I do that? Could I make use of that? Nothing to stop a barbarian using a shield, but it's kind of not the point. They're not supposed to be super tanky, are they? rage and, well, unarmed defense. They're not going to be... Oh, you add your constitution modifier to your armor class if not wearing armor. Interesting. Interesting. I guess that means that dexterity is no longer the important thing, but you'd have to be completely unarmored. There might be points in the game where you're forced to take your armor off as well, I would imagine. Paladin must always walk over rocks, never around. I see you're a fan of the latest D&D movie. Yeah. Oh, God. It's too hard a choice, folks. It really is. Is there anything else I have missed? Let's go back to the Ranger. I don't know if I fully finished discussing the background. So, like, the Folk Hero one works great for a Ranger. It does, especially for a Robin Hood type character. So does the Urchin one, though, for a bit of stealing. And we've got Charlatan and Criminal, which I think are going... They don't have the ring to it, really, do they? Outlander's good as well. Athletics and Survival. Now, Athletics will work great for... certainly for a Barbarian. That would be a good one. Actually, if I went Folk Hero and I had Animal Handling... It just says influence animals and pet all the dog. It doesn't say talk to them. Talking to animals. Is that something I really want to do? I couldn't have played Divinity Original Sin games without animal speak. Are we going to go for a Ranger after all? If so, then what class? Let's consider our classes. Sorry, our races. There's the Elf, because they do get a couple of cantrips. I think the True Strike would come from the type of subclass I've picked. But they also get a Firebolt, which probably never going to be useful as a Ranger, because there's always be a time when you could simply just shoot your bow instead and be better at it. Find familiar. You see, that sounds really good. It does sound really good. Fey Ancestry. You've got advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. That's always useful in these things. Dark Vision is good. Elven Weapon Training doesn't matter for a Ranger because they would get that anyway. Racial Speed. So is there any advantage to being a half-elf then? They've got the same Dark Vision, the same Fey Ancestry. Maybe not as much, I don't know, but some. Same movement. They've got Civil Militia, which makes no difference, I think, to a Ranger. So it's half-elf or elf makes no difference in this case. But I don't want to just play a character that's considered Legolas. I don't want to do that. Seem the most excited about the Paladin? It did sound fun. It also sounded the most challenging. Firebolt sets things on fire, such as webs and oil. This is Larian Studios. There are going to be things to burn. There are going to be pools of stuff on the floor. There are going to be explosive barrels occasionally. I need to think about stuff like that. Although I imagine we could find fire arrows as well. If I played a Ranger, I should probably do something quite different. Dragonborn is... I'm just going to rule that out. Because whilst it's an interesting race, they don't get dark vision. And so I can't see a particular reason to take them. Gnomes. I can't know. Maybe if I played him as a sorcerer, but they look ridiculous. Sorry to be gnomist, but they do. Same with halflings. I like dwarves. Dwarves are cool. Dwarven combat training. Dark vision, dwarven resilience. What about these Githyanki, actually? I hadn't really considered... I'd have to find something that looked better than that, because that's terrible. Proficiency in all skills of a chosen ability. Cantrips. A mage hand. Create an invisible spectral hand that can manipulate and interact with objects. The base features, standard movement. Martial prodigy. A lifetime relentless training gives you armor proficiency with light and medium armor, as well as proficiency with the... okay. Nothing to be gained there, then. Consider Drow for a race? Oh, hi, Jeff. They would make a good ranger. There's no doubt about that. They've got better night vision, I think, haven't they? 24 meters superior dark vision. Makes sense if you're a ranged character with a longbow. Absolutely does. They've got the elven resistance to magic, which is nice. The only thing that I'm thinking no to is because I know that the voice of Todd is playing a Drow Ranger in his playthrough, and it would be nice to do something a bit different so that I can see some different options and outcomes from some of the encounters. But otherwise, it would be an excellent choice. There's a lot of overlap with the stuff mechanics in Divinity 2, so definitely think about that. Fireball's better for crowd control. Divinity 2 was a great game. There was a whole lot of... I mean, I think I spent every single fight in that game on fire. Every single fight. No matter how I started it, planned it, or lined it up, at some point in that fight, I would end up on fire. And that's the best of it. Stuff will blow up everywhere. So many choices. I think I might be leaning back towards the Paladin. Let's put this back to human. Let's go to class. Let's pick a beefy dude. And then let's have a look at the two oaths then. So the oath of the ancients. That's kind of cool, because I could actually sort of go the Knight of Nature road and kind of rangery. In fact, one of the, like, so is it, what do you call it, subclass? Let's just put that on for a minute. There's an odd one I've not seen here before under Ranger. Where is it? I'm sure it's here. Favoured enemy. So Ranger Knight, here it is. You have sworn to serve a crown or nation, seek to bring its foes to ruin, gain skill proficiency in history and armour proficiency with heavy armour. I've not really considered that. I've never really heard of this on Rangers before. Is this a 5th edition thing, or is it just for Baldur's Gate 3? Go Pally, first inclination is often the best. We'll get doors open and locks picked and chests robbed with other characters, won't we? We won't have an issue with that. I am thinking of going down this. Human Paladin. We get to use the really shiny stuff. The really shiny melee weapons, the armor, the shields, if I so wish. We've got a couple of options for magic characters. There's another healer, which might also be a melee character, so that should tie in well. And then we've got a rogue we can take. So there's going to be ways of robbing people, so that's fine. I think we're leaning towards this. I've not played a paladin in one of these games for years, so I need to pick a background. Tell you what, while we're thinking about that then, it is going to be human. Let's edit the appearance. We've decided it's going to be a human paladin. We have yet to pick the oath to go with it. We'll have to save that. I'm so thinking about what Aimless said about talking to animals. We'll have to do that another day. There's a barbarian as well. Just go back a bit. Just go back a bit. Proceed. Back. Because that was also a really cool option. It won't be a... Will it be a human barbarian? Will I play Ponan the Barbarian? I could. I like the idea of that. It's the melee stuff is the same, except that you don't get the shiny armor. You have to have different armor. It was going to be a half-orc, wasn't it, if we did this? A half-orc barbarian. They'll have some cool stuff. It'll be a two-handed weapon, obviously. Got a bit of dark vision. Relentless endurance is awesome. Savage... Oh, the savage attacks. Those really big hits. It's a critical hit with a melee weapon attack. I'm curious, would that also apply if you played a half-orc paladin to the smite? It triggers off a melee attack, but it's technically a spell. That's curious. Any final thoughts, folks? I'm going to go Paladin. I think I'm going to go Paladin. Let's go create one. Change this back to human. Change that to Paladin. Let's change the appearance. Right, so male. Oh, God, we've got voices.
Where to next?
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed.
Where to next?
And we're back to the start.
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
That voice one actually sounds as good as any. So, are we picking body type of big dude? Oh, I see. The faces change with the body type as well. All right, that's cool. That is quite cool. Head 4. Can't see the difference in half of these. Skin colour, warm. Am I creating me? Am I basically trying to create me here? Probably not. Did those faces really... Also, that hair is driving me mad as well. We might have to have a great big beard on this just to hide much of the face as possible. Let's see. I might change that back because those are some ugly dudes. Then again, that's not the body of a mighty warrior, is it? Let's put that back up there. Scarring. We don't want any scars. I'm going to go and change the freckle quantity, freckle intensity. What the hell? Vitiligo pigmentation? Does that change? Oh, I see. That is, I mean, my dad suffers from that, but only across his hands. I've never seen a game have a slider for that before, so cool for including it. But where is the hair? Next page. I wanted to change the hair and then go back to the faces because you get different. Hang on, there's got to be another way of modifying this somewhere. It's got to be right of the screen. Ah, right of the screen. Whoops. Hang on. Edit appearance. Ah, got it. Cheers. Thanks. I hadn't seen those. Makeup off. Hair. What? Yes. See how it changes the character of the face, though? It makes such a big difference. That would look good on a barbarian, actually. Space buns. No. That was what we had. You were right, there's plenty of hairstyles. I'm not quite sure. The man bun. Can't find one that looks good. These are awful. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. I could go with that. Hey, Catherine. How's it going? You enjoying this game? You've been watching The Voice of Todd. Enjoying his playthrough. Trying to find something looks suitably Oh, hang on. What? I found an invisible hairstyle. He looks like Ian McShane from Lovejoy in that. The bouncy ponytail. The Mad Professor. Very respectable businessman. No, these won't do at all. The Mad Monk. Let's see. I feel like we've done the Now I'm thinking I should just go and play an orc or a tiefling or a dragonkin and not have to worry about hair. That is quite the cavalier look, isn't it? Okay. Am I really going to come through this and say I don't like any of the human hairstyles? There was one that looked alright. Which one was it? We're just going to have to put a helmet on the guy, aren't we? You're holding out for a reverse mermaid race. Far more practical for the sailor on the desert island to find, eh? I had a great holiday, thanks. Yeah, it was awesome. Over too quickly, as they always are. And then now I'm trying to adjust a life back in post-holiday mode. Jeez, this might make me reconsider a different race, to be quite honest. That was probably the best. Does it say what it is? Highlights, greying, natural grey hair colour. That was... Okay, so it's in this second column. Ooh, that's kind of weird. Are we back to that? That looks like it must take some real effort to maintain that. We could go simple. I don't like him. I'm going to be honest and say, well, it's mostly with the face. It's nice to have so much choice, but I don't like him. I think it was that one. Holy crap. Okay, we're going to go with that, but we're also going to go back and go for the face now and see what the face options are. This changes things a bit. That's not bad. Now we've got to see a bit of character coming through. That's just odd. Right, we've got that one. I like that. The eyes are quite good. Body art. Are we a holy warrior? Do we want body art? Makeup, hair, facial hair. This might be something. Great big porn star mustache from the 70s. Proper sideburns. Look at that. Actually, I could rock that, I think. I could do that. What about full beards? I do quite often create characters with beards because they're usually pretty good at hiding. But actually, that's not bad. The trouble is, a lot of the beard styles don't quite match with the hairstyles. So I'm looking for something that's slightly shaggy and scruffy in the beard. And I can't find it. The big mutton chop sideburns, though. I'm thinking that's it. There's something about the textures on these just doesn't look right. I'm running this on DirectX 11, not on the Vulkan offering, because the Vulkan causes issues with recording in OBS and streaming. Like it looks like it's moving, like it's filling in. I know it's a weird lighting effect on it. We could go either no. He's supposed to be a holy knight, so he's either going to have none, or he's going to have the mutton chops. Sod it. Let's go with that. Right, edit character. Liking this. So our choices now. Actually, was there an option for height? I didn't see one for height. There was some more hair options, wasn't there, we didn't get down to. So there was the highlights in natural blonde, blue. Oh, highlight intensity. Ah, okay. Bit of green in there. No. Let's just confirm that. It might change from... let's change that to... What's he look like in some of these others? Alright, okay, this is better. Yep, I'm liking this. Rather than the jet black, we go roguish. Nice colour. Hey, Curmudgeon, how are you doing today? I'm as bad as your son. He doesn't do grooming either. Unnecessary encumbrance on a morning. Brushing one's hair. I'm kind of liking the more boring colour. Suits the character, I think. It suits the character. So, let's confirm that. Do we want to give a bit of... We don't want greying. Do we want greying? Absolutely not. This is... Oh, go black. What happens when we put black in there? Nothing good. Bit of ginger. Nope. Can't really see much difference. We'll just leave that as it is, I think. Eyes. We didn't play with the eyes, did we? What is that? 2 different eye colours? They've got some interesting options. Blue eyes, brown eyes, purple eyes. He's been on the spice. We'll go brown. And makeup, hair, facial hair, body art, general, done. I think. The only thing we need to do is really decide on the subclass. This is going to be the hardest decision, I think. You think pink? Pink hair? On a holy night? I'm not so sure. You think brown was good? Brown eyes is always good. Let's have a look. They also don't stand out too jarringly in cutscenes and stuff, whereas some of the other colours, depending on the game settings or how the game's made, they can be overly bright, I think. I don't want to make this choice. It's too hard. The Oath of Devotion. Following the ideal of the knight in shining armour, you act with honour and virtue to protect the weak and pursue the greater good. The Oath of Vengeance. We deliver justice to those who have committed the most grievous sins. I'm thinking of doing that. I am. Inquisitor's Might or Oath of Devotion. Holy Rebuke. Channel Oath Charge. Bonus action. I think I might go for Inquisitor on this. Revenge. No, sod it. I said this. This was my first thing. We're going to go for it. Proceed. Click it. We just need to create a name now. Sir Mark. Always Sir Mark. Am I doing a good play or evil? If I go with this character, I have no option. He has to be good. He has to be good or he becomes an oath breaker. Actually, for anyone who's followed, and they won't have followed me since my World of Warcraft days, but if anyone by any chance was around in my World of Warcraft days, my first character was a human paladin. A Nordic human paladin. Eric, the paladin.
You need a guardian.
I need a guardian. Okay. So someone... This is like a... is this like an alter ego or an NPC that shows up to talk to you from time to time? We'll go with something different for this. What should we go with? The wise old elf. Another human. We could go for another human. We could put my missus into the game. She might not appreciate how I portray her in this, so maybe that's not a good idea. Who should we put in as this? Baldur's Gate 3. Let me have a think. We're going to go for an elf. Sub-race. High elf or wood elf.
Remarkable. Truly.
Good luck.
With a
Follow
very
your
masculine voice.
instincts. Don't be afraid.
Guardian is like an angel for you? Oh, I've got an idea. I've got an idea then. We're going to go for... Who would fit well for this? No, we'll stick with this. I was thinking of Valeria from the Conan the Barbarian movie. We'll turn her into a Valkyrie, but maybe for another day. Hey, Hagmadine, how's it going? Nice to see you again. Well, we need a character. We do. So we're going elf. We're going wood elf. Let's have a look. Can I change skin color? Wood tone 4. Did I not get purple? Oh, hang on. Yes, we do get purple. I remember right. It was like a cross between that and that. That's a bit too blue. Nice, like shiny blue. That one works. That one works. We did wood elf, didn't we? Anything else to pick on this? Body art. Yeah, let's have a bit of this. I find something. I have a rough idea in mind of what I'm looking for. And when I see it, I'll know it. That might be it. Okay, I'm going to do that. Can we change the colour? Can we change it to, like, pink? That's a bit too much. Why does it cover the ears as well? Who would get their ears tattooed in their entirety? Oh, hang on. There we go. That's really nice that we can change the intensity. I've got the wrong colour anyway, but that's fine. What's one of these look like? Too similar. I think we're going to go with the light pink. The dark pink. It's the ears. It's the ears that's bothering me there. It's not quite right. Damn it. What's that one? I'm going to go with that. Turn up the intensity a bit there. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. Eyes. Let's get some, like, really nice bright eyes on this, surely. Can we not see? We've got glowing pink. Not quite as bright as I wanted. Makeup. Oh, hang on. Right. We want... I didn't quite want that. You doing well, Hagmadine? Hope you're well. Yeah, I had a great holiday, thanks. It was awesome. It's over too soon. And I've put on about 1.5 kilos in a week, which was pretty good going. Which I hope was not all flab. I'm hoping there's a bit of muscle in that as well, because I did hit the gym there as well. It was a pretty good gym for a resort hotel. Don't normally have the machines that had, so took advantage of that, which made me feel a lot better about stuffing myself at the buffet table afterwards. Lavender look. Yeah, that's not the... I don't think... Hang on. Eye makeup intensity. Let's turn that right down. I like the idea of this. I just need to find the right colour. Yeah, purple works. It's not so that to the point we've got a mask of it. Metallic tint level. Interesting. Glossy tint level. It's not strong. I might change the tattoo colour yet. And hair. Definitely need to change that. Actually, the hair style itself is not too bad. Tempted to go for space buns. My youngest daughter did that once, and she looked awesome in it. And then she's never done it ever again. No matter how much I've requested. Let's have a look. Something long. No. Not bad, actually. Not bad. Nope. I was hoping to say I'll know it when I see it. Actually, that looks not bad. Not quite what I was after, but it's not bad either. I think we will go with that one. Let's change the colour. We want something outrageous for this. What about dark purple? What about blue? Let's go with blue. Okay, I've got this. And then let's change the natural blonde highlight to dark purple. And then There we go. We've got some colour. There is a bit of a theme with this. And when I played World of Warcraft, my wife played along with us. We started around about the same time. I think she started after me. And she created a character called Elfie, who's a night elf ranger. So I'm creating something similar to that. We go back to general. Just change the skin colour now. Oh, faces. Let's have a look what we got. 3's pretty good. Freckles on that one. I'm liking that one, actually. So let's change the skin colour. Ice tone 4. Let's see what we've got. It was like a darkish. I can't remember. It's so long ago since we played. It's too dark. I want something like lighter blue. Actually, that works. That works quite well. It's not the colour I was thinking, but with the tattoos and everything, and the ears don't look too ridiculous like this. I think we're going to go with that. That will do nicely. You never played World of Warcraft? It was good back in the day, and I think you can play on a vanilla server again without all the expansions, but not quite sure. Did I pick? I did pick the good guy thing, didn't I? Do we pick a name for this? We're in. Doesn't seem to care that they're dead. Oh, sugar, have I not done the voice? Did I leave that as a male voice? He's dropped his pike. Oh wow, okay. War of the Worlds style disintegration or teleportation. Here come the good guys. No parachute. Seems like a bit of an oversight to me. Oh, I thought that was an autopilot. Dragon. Oh, I never did the stats. I was going to change the stats of the character. Dragon. You can't pick the lock on the box, just collect it for later. That could be very, very useful. I remember in one of the first games I ever played RPG wise, it was Ultimate Underworld 2. You used to pick up boxes and bags just because they were so useful for storing all the other crap that you collected. Sorting it out. So we might have to go back and do that again because I wanted to play with the character stats a little bit and I haven't. Loyal Dragon is better than Parachute. Monkey Lord, you'd rather have a Parachute, less upkeep costs. Don't have to clean up after it either. Imagine that must be a lot of work cleaning out after a dragon. There is an opportunity to... there's like respec, isn't there? You meet someone later on. But I don't know if that allows you to change your stats. It might do. Alright, okay. What I'm going to do is... nothing in options for this, is there? Yeah, I guess we're going back to the main menu then. Oh, God. I think I've got the voice wrong on the... I'm pretty sure I've got the voice wrong on the Guardian, and I didn't play with the character stats. So back we go. We can do it all over again. This is an opportunity for me to say, actually, I want to pick a different character. But I don't think I will. I think we're going to go with that. Right, so new game. Start game. This won't take long. We know where we're going now. Hey, Doc, this thing lets you change everything other than your race. We could have picked it up later on, but we're going to start as we mean to go on, I think. Scrub that bit. So, let's go straight on to human. That Barbarian is calling to me. It absolutely is. Subclass, Oath of Devotion. Oh, we didn't change background either. So, I am not entirely sure that Folk Hero gives me animal handling and survival, which are nice. I don't know that it's really what we want for Paladin, is it? What's Soldier give me? See, Athletics, that would definitely help. And Intimidation. Bully, Threaten, and Induce Fear. Noble. History might be useful somewhere. Persuasion is definitely going to be useful, and Charisma is Paladin trait, so... yeah, there's always something you forget when you do these things. There's so many things to go through. I wish I'd just noticed. All these things up here that I have locked in my mind, thinking, yeah, I must do that, I must do this. I'll tell you why I want to change the stats in a minute, but... I could do Folk Hero or Noble. They both kind of work with the character I have in mind. Saving innocence and innocent danger will make your legend grow, which fits in with what he's going to do. Challenging tyrants and monsters to protect the helpless. Accumulating renown, power, and loyalty will raise your status. See, I don't like the sound of that. I'm going to go with Folk Hero anyway. I don't care. It's not the perfect background. It's not a perfect character. We're going to go with abilities, and there is a good reason for doing this. And that is that odd numbers don't count in this. So we need to clear this. Oh, and skill proficiencies. We would like to have a look at that as well. So clear that. So strength, we're certainly going to take that up to 14 before we figure out what we're spending these on. And charisma, let's do exactly the same on that. And then constitution. So once we've got those in place, let's make sure there's no penalties to start with. That gives me only 5 points left to spend. Can I put 2 into strength? I can. +0 to wisdom checks. I'm pretty sure charisma is, yeah, for paladins. Clerics, druids, and rangers, and that's useful. I mean, we'll get chance to possibly add to these later. Constitution just for just for strength, really. Not strength, just for hit points. So important. Am I going to turn on the game's Twitch companion when you play? I'm not, Mills, because I'm streaming it on YouTube as well, simultaneously. So I think it would be a little bit unfair on one audience. Now, I remember doing that when I played it through in the early access. And for some reason, the chat always seemed to get me to take the option that was most likely to get me killed or arrested. I can't think why that might be the case, but just coincidence, obviously. Yes, how strange. How strange indeed. Just saw your intellect stat, you will fail a lot. Depends what I'm trying to do. Because intellect is memory and mental power, improves spell casting for wizards. It's not essential for this character. I mean, you can't get them all up. So as long as you've got a mix of characters within the group who have these in. Choices pending? Oh, it's because I haven't spent them all. I think I don't like having odd numbers in these. But I'm going to have no choice here. It's either going to be Constitution or I take the Strength down, which I really don't want to do. Can I not put... If I put that in there... See, that's unnecessary. So this is going to go into something, isn't it? I'll have to get them up. But that is kind of important for hit points. And that is important for lots and lots of things. I'm going to go with that. And then we hope we level these up at some point later on. Or find some stuff that increases our strength and constitution. I'm going to hope that my survivability from all my other stuff makes up for that. Because that does feel like it's a little weak. Dexterity won't matter. Oh, but it affects initiative. Well, it's going to have to be. I don't want to take penalties for anything. So it's going to have to be that. What's the recommended for these? Yeah, it recommends to take a huge hit to that. Dexterity of 12. We may as well do that one. And put that one up. So that would give me... It'd just give me +1 to saving throws. But it does affect the initiative a bit. However, this... Screw it. I'm not going to go first. I don't want to go first as a paladin. We're going to have this back exactly as I had it. Which was that. That's fine. Let's have a look at the skill proficiencies. Odd numbers are fine here, so you can adjust them at level 4. That's with... Do you have to spend your first sort of level up, where you get the option of a skill feat or stats? Is that how it works in this, by the way? You get either or, you can't get both. Let's have a look. I've got some in religion. I've got some in animal handling. That won't be a lot of use to me. I've got some insight. There's not a lot of that stuff I do have. Athletics could do with being up, like... Definitely being up. Persuasion's good, though. Well, as I say, we can't have a character that fits everything and does everything, because that won't work. So let's go edit appearance before I forget. The voice was good, wasn't it?
Where to next? What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Hells.
Be wary.
It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
I swear, the voice is getting quieter. I've not changed the volume. It's getting quieter.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed.
I can't
I
actually...
can feel its aura. Where to next?
I can't actually hear it. For reasons unknown to me.
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
You guys hear that?
Hells, something just woke up down here.
It's very quiet.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
Pretty sure I've got the voices turned up to maximum in the settings.
It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
Where to
I'm going with 1 because I can't actually tell the difference. You know what face I had before? I think I had that one. Skin tone was somewhere over here, wasn't it? We'll go with that one. That looks better. And then there's no body art. That was fine. The eyes were brown. We'll go brown 1. Makeup. The hair was somewhere down here. That was the hair. And then the facial hair was that. And then the hair colour wasn't ginger. It was that. And I think we put some highlights in. But we're more or less back to where we were with that, I think. You can hear the voices. My personal vid is locked up. Oh, god damn the camera. Damn the camera. Thanks for shouting that out. I thought I'd have got that fixed, actually. Let me just... what an awesome... Deactivate that and put that back on. It's easily fixed. This seems to be a problem with OBS. Because I've tried every setting I can of updates and different settings within this. All sorts of stuff. There's nothing wrong with the camera. It's happening to a lot of streamers at the moment. And it is infuriating. But cheers. Just shout up if you see it go again. Let's have a look. Right. So I think we've got the stats done. We're going to proceed. We're going to go with my old World of Warcraft Paladin. We did have these, didn't we? Lay on Hands, Divine Sense, Holy Rebuke. Yep, we did that. It's a shame it hasn't remembered all this. Should we go with Drow? Just because it'd be easy to get the skin tone right. Nope, we're going to go with Wood Elf. We'll do it the hard way. I like that, though. Quite like that. It was the third face. It absolutely was. The voice.
Remarkable. Truly.
Good luck.
Follow your instincts.
Ah, 2 voices. Okay, there's only a choice of 2. That's fine, then. Right, all right. It was this weird grey one down here somewhere, wasn't it? And let's go with some eyes. Elf gold. No, we want glowing pink, but it won't let me put them in. Sadly. Definitely some... Oh, we did have makeup, didn't we? Actually, that works. Change colour. Does it work on these still? Doesn't seem to work as well with those. We'll go with that one. Hair. Hair isn't bad. I can't remember what it was before. But it definitely wasn't that. What do we have? Actually, that's not bad. We'll maybe go with that. Hair colour. Brown. We don't want brown hair. Did we have black? Did we have black with purple highlights? Can we not give it highlights? In that case, then we will go something like that. That's much better. And then it was body art, of which we had... It does the ears. I don't want... It looks... Do you not think that looks silly? Having tattooed and painted ears like that. Let me just... Can I get the settings up here? I'm pretty sure I haven't turned down the voices. Music is down. The voice volumes is 100%. So I don't know why the voices are quiet at the moment. It's really odd. But it's quiet for me too. So I don't know why it's coming through like that. It might be something I just have to restart the game for to get back. But that's not a problem because we are almost done. Let me try some different makeup actually. That's not makeup, sorry, body art. Let me see. What have we got? Something that looks not too hellish. Ah, okay. That is surprisingly good. That's too much. That's too little. That looks ridiculous. Actually, that's... hang on. Hang on, because if I change the colour of that to... pink. That. Change that down a bit. And then we change the hair color to black. Watch this not actually make the blindest bit of difference. That will do nicely. Okay, and venture forth. And we'll sit through this one more time. I have no idea why it's so quiet. I know why the music is quiet because I've purposely turned the music down a little bit. So we can hear things over the top. But the sound effects and voices should be fine. I do like the video in this. I think it looks really nice. They cut out a whole scene where you're outside on the top deck. I remember that from the early access. But doesn't that come after this bit, or have they just cut that out of the playthrough altogether? Dragon cricket. No dragons were harmed in the making of this film. So the intro is shorter. Good. Good. Nice to get into the adventure proper faster. I do wonder how long I'm going to be able to keep up this oath for on the Paladin. I'm going to fail at the first opportunity. Give the guy some points for running up the tower to try and reach the bell after seeing that. That's a fair point, is that? Rather terrifying. Yeah, and this is the grisly bit. Or is it? Wait, is that bit been already? Was that before we created a character? I guess it must have been. Or was it? There he is in his shiny blue tabard. Quite like that. Alone with his guest at his head. Right. And with that...
My head.
Okay, I can hear that. The voices there seems to be fine. I don't know why they've gone quiet on the character creation screen. That was really, really weird. So, new save. Let's just call this stream 1. And we should be good. Has it saved it? It's saved it. Okay, and with that, folks, we'll be back tomorrow. So it was just a short stream today, just to get the characters created, which did take longer than expected when you have to do it twice, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be really good. You like the facial hair in that character? Well, it had to be noticeable, I think. So anyway, we're back 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be in for a fairly long stream, I should think. 4 to 6 hours, something like that. And we'll see where we get to. So I'm still sorting out the aftermath of coming back from holiday at the moment. So that's why it's not so long today. But I will be back tomorrow. And if anyone's interested, I've also got a Hearts of Iron 4 China campaign running on the Let's Play channel too. Which if you would like to go and see that, it should be just over there. I'll drop a link down in chat. So with that, 2 o'clock tomorrow. I'll see you then. Good night for now.